How to start without a beginning, how to finish before it's done. I don't remember any bedtime stories because there were none. Age 1, age 2, age 3, 4, 5, there's none of it left in my head archive. 6, 7, 8, darkness turned into fog. Everything's hazy, I guess that's my life as a dog. There were some visits to America to see my dad, who's never present. To pretend that this is a functioning family pretending was so pleasant. You see, he left when I was little. I remember him crying. On his bed he lay so still, as though parts of him were dying. It all happened very quickly. Where once was my father's face, a new man appeared the very next day, taking in his place. I think I celebrated a birthday once, though they all feel like an illusion. I think I rode a pony twice, at least that's what I believe. I know my mom got cancer. I remember her contusions. I'm more certain of this than anything else, because that memory won't leave. Then, back to black, though sometimes flashes resurface. I remember sitting in my bunk bed crying out the rooftop window to leukemia and whatever else was listening. I never got an answer back, just a canvas of black and the moon and some stars staring back and glistening. Chemo and pets and school and life without a purpose. For a while it got better, then drastically downhill. I guess that's how it always goes though, what's life without a thrill? In my life, there was always a before and after. Before the chemo, before the casket, before leaving all behind. From before, there's nothing left. Before was like I was blind. What kind of future does this promise? What kind of child will this raise? What kind of road is paved with grief and loss and death and abandonment? In the silence lays no calmness, lost thoughts and negative space. Much to fear, much to battle, constantly holding my breath. Arriving in the summer, 12 years young, it was clear my presence was barely welcome here. Plagued with the thoughts of interrupting my father's life, structured firmly around his hobbies and his wife. Never feeling good enough or loved enough, on top of classmates treating me rough. That stranger, the foreign lands have brought an oddity. Speaking and feeling genuine has become such a commodity. But there was a beaming beacon of endless guidance, a selfless act of no mother of mine, but she will be in time. Yet a mother nonetheless, with instincts to love, to clean up my mind which had become a cluttered mess. Looking back at pictures, sources telling me what happened when and how I was way back then. I wish I knew what they told me and what it all means. My first solid memories weren't until my mid-teens. With few years past and no real friends in sight, every action came to be fueled by frustration and fright, doubting every word I spoke and trying so hard to fit in, but nothing was ever good enough, boiling rage grabbed to the brim. Every summer I came back to Germany, every year it felt less like home. The roads that had once raised me just turned into streets I used to roam. My sister was my sister, but nowhere I did not. Through the years, family through familiarity turned just to family through blood. I'd like to think 11th grade was at an all-time high. Friends were there, school was good, and I seemed to be getting by. My dad seemed to care just a bit more than he usually did. And I finally could just live and just be a kid. Leaving home and going to college some time away caused every brittle fiber in me to collapse and fray. I quit and left and went back to what was familiar, so scared of change and of being anything bigger. Ran away from anything yet to come. Thought things would get better if I just went home. By that, I meant Germany. I had to go back and know, if it really was in my best interest to just give up and go. I felt never less at home in a country I used to live in, drowning sorrows with self-hate, cannabis, and gin. I knew nothing and no one, my sister like a stranger. And when I sat on the rooftop ready to jump, I knew I was in danger. Used writing as an outlet, a woven picture, with words as thread. If I wrote them down, I could erase them from my head. And so it became uncluttered. If I hadn't, who knows where it might have led. I found selfless love in places I wasn't searching. Someone to hold me, understand me, show me of what I'm deserving. Someone who knows I'm still not well, but willing to help me get there. A little light in a life that usually wasn't so fair. So I told myself to keep going and fight the good fight. Did some soul searching for things that really understood me. Went to a new school with a new feeling, it'll be alright. And started doing what helped me through all the highs and lows. When you think about loving yourself, you start to see that life can be great too, even if it's not the one you chose.